This is Rob G. I got Kitty Cat in the house. And I had a podcast going on earlier today, but unfortunately, everybody was too drunk and tired. So she came in, saved the day, and it's kind of good because we've been talking about something that evolved to interesting topic, talking about our culture. And Kat, you know that you grew up having to go to a school that was mainly Caucasian, and yeah, it was done mainly because your mom wanted a better education for you, right?
Yes, correct.
We've already talked early, but we had to pause it. As a person that has took a lot of crap when you were in school because you were now going to these schools, getting exposed to different cultures, and why do you think you took a lot of crap from your own, you could say your own
My
Mexican culture, by the way?
because to me it was more important to get my education than what they thought. And to me, I think that we always judge the unknown. We always think and discriminate the unknown. We don't know, so we assume. I think people assume that I thought I was better than them because I went to this school, not knowing that I was a cool person and I was just trying to get a better education.
It kind of evolved our conversation when just kind of realized that the Mexican culture that you knew that was surrounded was mainly gangs and drugs, right? You could say alcoholism usually.
Yeah, it was gangs and it was alcoholism, machismo, like that type of, I guess, exposure you want to say.
And that's pretty much what you depict what Mexicano was, you can say.
And that's what I grew up knowing what it was.
You have a beautiful daughter, daughters. You have them in Flocorico. Is it the art kept you from keeping your culture, or is it very important for you?
It is important because I don't want to lose what my culture is, but I don't agree with everything that I guess deciphers it. The art definitely is. My daughters enjoy dancing, and if that's a way to get them closer and for them to keep some of their heritage, then that's definitely a beautiful way to. They do a great job, and then we have our own Mexican traditions that help my kids with their heritage, such as Dia de los Muertos, and, of course, the food, and then Arrullando el Niño during Christmas time. And so those and a couple others help them still be grounded into their Mexican roots and help me still be grounded into my Mexican roots and the music itself also.
So your mom, you were telling me how she had us drive all the way just to drop you off to school every day because there's no bus that picks you up that far, and the sacrifices and such. Was it worth it?
It was worth it. She had to drive half an hour in the morning to drop us off, which meant we had to get up at least 2 hours before. And obviously, she had to pick us up afterwards also. And it was on the other side of town. It was pretty far, but it was worth it. We all went to that school. We all got exposed to the different art programs that they had there. I did the choir and the show choir. My brother did the orchestra. My other brother was involved in the art, and my other brother did the sports. And therefore, I mean that those were programs that were not offered in the other schools, just that school. And I think that kept us out of trouble also.
Now attending those kind of schools, now growing up, uh, do you find yourself more detached, or do you see that now that you're getting older, you're actually becoming more closer to your culture?
That is a very tricky question because I'm actually the same as I was when I was going to school. I'm learning still, but I mean, not a lot has changed. Uh, I still have my culture because of my mom, because of my aunts, you know. But we did actually pave a way. I am the oldest out of all the cousins, and my brothers follow. So what we did do is pave a way for my other cousins. They followed in our footsteps and attended schools that high education, and so my aunt followed in my mom's footsteps. So we do still have that culture. It hasn't changed because as a family we all still all that, but we all still do other things that we were exposed to.
I guess the next question I can ask is, for those that, especially right now, are probably thinking they want to go to another school. How hard is it first? Do you remember probably the first time when you attended schools? Because I know, my father actually attended the same school you went, but this was way back in the days. And, at that time, he was considered a beaner, and he remembered telling me stories that he had to go eat his, burrito on the corner. And of course, times have changed and stuff, but that in order to wanting this higher education or better education, you do have to step out of your comfort zone in a sense. Was it hard for you or even for your brothers that had to go through it?
Um, Times obviously are different to a certain aspect. There will always, I believe, be discrimination in one way or another. However, I didn't experience anything as far as, being discriminated to a point where I had to go and eat somewhere else. Did I go through hardships? Yes. And unfortunately, it was through my own Mexican, race that I was, to a sense, I guess to an extent, discriminated. And it's sad, but, it was worth it to me because to me, my education was more than being discriminated and called fresa or any other names they called.
So more you got discriminated not towards other culture, but your own.
And I do believe that it's because, of the unknown. When you don't know something, why someone's doing something, you feel like they're probably thinking that they're better than you. That's not the case. The unknown as to, well, why are they doing that?
So amongst your own race, you got discriminated.
Yeah.
You had to go through all this. Did it build any remorse towards your own culture, or did you really like how you say I didn't want to feel it? Because I think that's what it seems that that's what happens, and probably not in your case, but in other cases that they probably been exposed to that discrimination and that they don't care for their race or they think less upon it or I might be wrong and and I apologize, but I'm just kind of throwing this out for people to kind of.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is actually a good thing. I had literally a small handful of girlfriends that were at that time very banda girls, and so they kept me grounded. Now, did I did feel some kind of remorse. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to say maybe towards my race, but to a certain group of people, thinking that, why are you judging me? We're the same color skin, we speak the same language. Why are you discriminating me because I'm trying to better myself, because I'm trying to be involved, because instead of standing there doing the typical thing, I'm going out there and trying to meet new people and, join things. I mean, to me, I did feel some kind of remorse, and it was because not towards my race, but towards that group of people. Because
Probably because you were starting to act more like
I
the
got called a
other
coconut.
a coconut?
Yeah, because I was brown on the outside and white on the inside.
Oh, okay. They were pretty much kind of getting at you because
Yeah, that I was whitewashed.
you were different.
I
You
was
were
different, yeah, because I didn't wear the thick eyeliner and did the bangs high, and I didn't wear the baggy jeans or the half shirts, or, I didn't, you know, kick it with them or date them, and so that made me different, and
so
so that made me a target.
those terms that you're saying, it really is starting to show your age. And I'm not
I'm not that young.
trying to be hip with them, and it's bomb diggity.
Well, I'm not that young, so.
Somebody right now is listening, or some parent is listening, they're going through it. Probably is at a school that, they don't feel comfortable in right now, but because of, they want a better education. Is there something that you can probably give advice to a mother, anybody that is probably going through something similar, you can say?
Definitely can, and I can tell you both from a personal and a parent experience. If there is a parent that wants to better their child's education, get involved. That's the number one thing. Get involved. Whether it's going to the district and asking for your child to have the opportunity to go to a different school, in a different neighborhood that you know is better for your child. You can do letters to the district. You can personally go up there. You can do that. I know because I've helped somebody do it before. That's one. Two, if you love your school but you want other things, better things, get involved. You can make a difference. You can present certain things. You have to get involved and follow through, not just want it and not do it. And sacrifice, of course, sacrifice. Like I said, if you want your child to go to a different school and they give you the okay, be ready to sacrifice to take them wherever it is that you want them to go. But it can be done and it is worth it. I am, up until this day, thankful to my mother because, like I said, those were the best years of my schooling. And I will do that for my children, and I'm doing it for my children. And if you're a student and you want better education, push for it. You want to go to a better school, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, talk to the district, make a letter, show why you want to, why you deserve to. Education is very important. Without education, you can't get anywhere, and it's easy. Right now, as I'm talking, I'm flashing back to high school, how at that time the most important thing is what you're wearing, are you in the style, who are you dating? But as a grown up now and as a parent, those things are not the most important things. Your education is, you know, getting the good grades, doing as much as you can as far as like arts. If you love drawing, draw, get into an art class. If you like debate, run for ASB. You like to dance, join a dance team or the cheerleading. Do it because you can't go back and not, and if you don't do it, you can't go back and try again. It's
Or it's going to cost you.
gonna cost you.
Once you're an adult, everything just pretty much is going to cost
Yeah,
you.
whatever you were in high school, once you're an adult, whether you were the popular kid or that's not gonna matter when you graduate. What's gonna matter is what education you got, what your grades were. And so, to anybody that's listening, that's thinking about their education, do what's best for you. Think of your future because it's important. It's very important.
And somebody that that's is pretty much has to step outside their comfort zone, and that's what it comes down to is their comfort zone. That's something that I can definitely relate to. It's always putting yourself in these uncomfortable positions and realizing that it was not as bad as you think. Even as I'm speaking right now, I know I'm not the perfect, person to, I'm not a linguistic or nothing, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and it's something that I'm enjoying and I'm loving and I'm learning. And that's the thing, is just learning, constant learning. If you listen to previous podcast of Primo, Primo will let we're a constant, we're always constantly learning. We always got to constant learn. If it's not school, it's just life, and we're always trying to better ourselves in a sense. So it is very intimidating, and I understand, especially for any young kid that's trying to, feel like they are up to the standards of society, I guess that you can say. That they're not as smart as the society is, as intelligent as society is, as speak well as society is, because that does really push you back, and that's something I'm just as a personal level. But I know, as for me as a personal level, that's something that you just always have to step outside your comfort zone, try it. It might fail, but you know what? You're always learning something.